What's up? Okay, now I've got some energy.
You've got the viewers' attention for sure.
And just turn around for me and just slam your head against the wall a couple times. That'll work.
Jesus.
No, Andrew, Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Nah, it was with my hand. Don't worry, it was with my hand.
Now he's got as many brain cells as me. Jeez. We like to start off with a literal bang here on Nerdspice.
Yeah. Well, how have we all been? This is the first time we've had all four for a while.
Yeah, I think this is like the second podcast.
It's the second time.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
But no, how have we all been?
Alright, never mind.
Sorry, what?
I was gonna say we had one more, right?
We had Josh, but he, because of work, won't be able to make it.
I see.
Yeah.
So he's hoping once things start to calm down, he might be able to come back on. But we've got to wait and see if anything happens.
Yeah.
I can't say anything without kind of throwing him under the bus potentially, so I'm just not going to.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
But yeah, I've been good, dude. Thank you for asking.
I got you, but I just thought I should check with you, Mitchell, seeing as you had your little mental break just before the cameras rolled.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'm good, man.
I just think, yes, people dumb. You dumb. Everyone dumb. The world is dumb. That's basically the conversation we had.
I think that's a pretty normal opinion to have.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fair
I'm okay
opinion.
with the world being dumb. It's okay. The world being dumb is okay. I just hate it when everyone tries to be smart.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's kind of like us.
Again,
we're
no
dumb,
arguments.
but we're trying to be smart.
Let's just throw into this. We've been going on such a fucking tirade. Let's just go. Let's jump right into the news.
Let's jump into
Agenda, dude.
what we do.
Games. Playing new games. Tolga,
Robot Andrew, he's the robot man with the pixelated
It's my
cam.
third playthrough.
Oh, for God's sakes. Leon, you haven't been on. Have you been playing anything new?
I've been playing games. I've just been getting absolutely destroyed on League of Legends because I'm just jumping into the game.
Trash. Trash game.
Very popular though.
So
very popular, yes.
Very, very, very.
I
popular.
just had the sudden urge to make such an incredibly racist comment.
Oh,
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
I'm not doing it.
do not be Australian. Don't do
Already
it.
been cancelled. We're already gonna get
Let it out.
cancelled.
Cancel by Fox.
But no, well then I will jump in then. I've been playing the new Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Yeah. How was that?
I got it.
How was that?
That's
a really good Mario impression, dude.
It's pretty shit.
Holy shit. I've just gone. You just were dead. I can't hear you.
It's pretty shit, to be honest.
Why?
Okay, so the games are fun. But not because of the port or with any enhancements from the port.
That's because there's no enhancements from the port.
Exactly. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no work done to it at all, except for the changing of some resolution upgrades, minor resolution upgrades. Everything else, the exact fucking same. It's just like, okay, great. I'm having a nostalgia hit for a little bit. I loved Mario 64. This is great to go back. I never got to play Sunshine. It's great to play Sunshine.
But how far does nostalgia get you through?
Oh no, I've finished them both.
So it's good enough to finish.
It'll get you through.
But that's the base game though. The normal game. If I owned a GameCube, I'd still finish it and get the same enjoyment of Sunshine. Yeah. If I owned this Nintendo 64 version of Mario 64, I'd get the exact same enjoyment.
Yeah.
My thing is, as a remake or remaster and a port of these old games, it's fucking waste of time. If people own the older versions, or if they own a Wii U where they can buy the older versions for a lot cheaper, I'd recommend getting that. Don't bother getting it on your Switch. It's a waste of your money.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I don't own these games, so for me it was a good purchase just because I don't own these games. I've never owned these games, so it was awesome for me to be able to finally own a version of these games.
I'm in the same boat. I'm actually a Mario 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy virgin.
Oh, really?
So I never got to experience them as a kid. Never had a friend who had a GameCube or a 64.
Actually,
Never.
I'm
none
with
of
you
that.
on that.
Yeah.
See, I never owned a 64 or GameCube, but my brother did, so I got to play Mario 64
That's
a
what
lot.
I mean. No friends, no family, nothing.
Yeah.
This is my first experience, like, proper holding the game in my hands and playing it.
Have you played it?
I played very minimal of 64. I just played it purely because we were talking about it last podcast, and I was just like, let me just feel this out, see what, you know, what the goal is, and like, look, if there was one thing I wish they would have done, it was just give me the whole screen.
Do you know? No. Do you know what? Actually, even if you didn't do that, fix 64's fucking camera. They could have done that. Like, give me an actual proper 3D fucking camera. So, like, back in the day, obviously, before they had the whereabouts of how cameras would work in 3D games, they had this weird system where you'd press, like, the 2 triggers, and that would move your camera to a very specific amount around. Yeah?
You can use the stick to
yes,
move.
but it is essentially the stick is functioning as what those triggers were.
Right.
And so the stick is still just moving it that very specific amount. And so it's not smooth in how it works. Sometimes it'll just won't move at all because it'll get stuck on walls. I had this problem this morning doing the second Bowser World in 64, where going up this elevator, literally the camera would just get stuck. And I could not see whether I was jumping into lava or onto the next platform.
That's how you know you're getting the true nostalgic condition, you know?
Yeah.
The true experience.
And that really fucking aggroed me. Like, it's just a massive shame. Because they could have really done some, like, just minor things. Like, it's not much effort. I don't care if you don't upgrade the graphics. Keep the same graphics or lack of a graphical upgrade. But if you could have just done some minor, like, ease of use, like, things.
100%.
Just make it nicer for people to play it, so it's not, you know, like they want that nostalgic feel, but they don't want that nostalgic rage. You know.
Look,
Sterling. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, look, at the end of the day, you know, like, people who've experienced it, or like, as you were saying, you know, if they've got the 64 GameCube, whatever, they'll play it that way. But like, for example, like if Mitch, who's also in the same position that I was, like, it is a great opportunity. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to also pick it up. But like, sure, it's shitty, but you know what I mean?
It should have a smoother experience in these next-gen consoles.
I mean, it needs to be said, though, and they need to at least deal with some consequence, because that's the thing with Nintendo. Because their games are so specific, they cater to such a very, very diehard audience.
Yeah.
They will not cop any problems with this, and they will be allowed to get away with being lazy. And
honestly, I think they won the console war.
Oh yeah,
the
Switch one, absolutely.
Switch. Sure, yeah,
absolutely. But the thing is, though, they don't compete. Like,
they're in their own little bracket.
They are definitely in their own little world. But I mean, my favorite console of this generation is absolutely the Switch.
Yeah,
it's absolutely the Switch, just from pure ease of use. Like, especially when being someone who's just went traveling around New Zealand. Bringing the Switch around with me was fucking awesome. So on my time off at night, just had my handheld Switch just plugged in, jamming on like a bit of Mario Odyssey, go to bed, get up, travel a bit more. Again, do the same thing. It was really nice to have.
Yeah, I realize I'm in the minority, but I was never really interested that much in the Switch. I played a little bit. Sure, I went over to yours and played a little bit of Zelda. I remember, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but I was never really drawn to really buy it.
I think you're not. You're definitely not the demographic, Mitch.
No, I'm definitely
not. Especially when you're only online. You're an online player. You are absolutely not the demographic.
Hey, I love me some Mario Kart. Give me that every day.
They have a very specific niche of like cult followers. Not cult followers because it's so massissive anyway. But there's like.
I was gonna say it's not cult. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
we sacrifice a cat a day to summon the Mario.
All the people who are like
Luigi.
I think it's the big thing with Nintendo is it is so. Kind of you look at it and think family friendly, 100%. So if a parent had a choice that like was told, oh, I want either Xbox One or Switch, they'd probably go, well, the Switch is cute. It might be fun for some family time.
Look, it's Mario.
They're more likely to get it, family. It's same with the whole Wii situation where the Wii, so many people who never played games had a Wii because they enjoyed Wii Tennis and fucking Wii Bowling and Mario Kart,
As far as we're concerned, every single mother just sounds like the voice that Andrew did.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
it's Mario, John.
But anyway, let's move on. This is kind of... Look, my next game that I played is tied to our first news story, and that is I got to play the alpha for Call of Duty Cold War.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to wait till the beta comes out to play that, but I definitely saw some gameplay and people playing it. I'll let you talk.
I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. The movement, which was my big worry when we mentioned it the other week, was gone. My worry for it was gone. Like, it felt so nice to run around. It was a lot faster. Movement's a lot more arcadey, I'd kind of say. And yeah, it's just a really fun game. I think the customization of weapons is a lot better as well in this game.
The gunsmith, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the gunsmith. So they actually show actual percentages now, Leon, of what the attachments will actually hinder and improve.
Thank God.
So like, instead of it just being a green arrow and not actually showing much on the bar, instead it's like
that triggered 5%. Me so much.
Yeah,
that triggered me so much.
Yeah,
it was.
So this actually will show you specifically what you are going to be affecting.
And if you get a wild card, because they brought the wild cards back, if you get the one that's specific to perks, you can have 8 attachments on your gun.
Which is really weird because there's only 7 attachments.
Well, maybe they'll bring out more. Maybe there's more coming out.
Well, no, I mean, like, as in, there's only 7 parts of the weapon you can actually put attachments on.
They'll probably release more guns that are
layer up those scopes,
versatile.
I'm going to have 2 scopes on this gun.
But it's not like in front of it. It's on top. So like you shoot and then you just go down like that to look at the other one.
Put an extra suppressor on it, so it's
an extra long suppressor turns into a silenced extended barrel.
And a muzzle.
No, it's just an extended barrel that's suppressed.
Not even facing the way the barrel's going; it's like the wrong way.
Don't even put an extended barrel. Just replace the barrel with 2 suppressors.
Yeah, exactly. What did you think of the What did you think of the maps? I knew I would get a reaction. I love it.
Yeah, you already know how I feel. The maps are nice. They look good. They look really good. The enemies are really hard to see. It's really hard to actually visibly see enemies in certain moments of the map.
They're wearing camo.
Yeah, I was about to make that joke.
Yeah. Is this the first Call of Duty where the camo actually camos? And it's just purely cosmetic.
But no, like, all jokes aside, it's really frustrating because there'll be moments where I'll be literally looking at a spot. No, I can't really notice an enemy. I get shot, and then I see that I was literally looking right at the dude. It's like,
I'm just imagining like an IKEA map, and someone's just like dressed as like a cupboard.
Well, no. So the maps we got was a desert map, which is probably my favorite one.
That's
We
the one
got
they had in
Miami,
the
which
gameplay.
was yes. We got Miami as well, which was the nighttime map. Probably my least favorite.
Would you think
And
that map
then-
would be better in daylight if they took out the night spectacle of it?
Yes, 100%,
So it's not.
100%.
So is it the map design and the
It's
night,
not the map.
or is
It's just the nighttime is the problem because things aren't lit very well. So then you literally can't see anybody
and they could be
from
anywhere.
a certain distance.
You either got to have a lot of map awareness, or
But even then, like I was playing with my cousin. I was playing with Josh, and we both Josh is a fucking god at anything. I sent Mitchell some just kill cams that Josh had, and it was fucking
nuts.
stupid.
I would
It's
fucking
fucking
report him.
stupid.
I would get mad and I would report this man.
Yeah, it was absolutely bonkers how good
sus,
he
dude.
is. But
If it was Among Us, I'd vote him out. He was super sus.
he's the imposter.
He's the imposter.
But no, so my biggest problem is he was like, I cannot see a single fucking person after like a certain distance. They just all blend in with the background.
Are there thermal scopes in this game?
Not in the alpha. There wasn't.
Yeah, because they might bring back the thermal scopes, and there's going to be just a
thermal
toxic
scopes are
thermal
definitely
scope
a thing.
sniper.
Thermal scopes are definitely a thing because there's a perk that specifically shields you from being seen and through thermal scopes.
Yeah.
It literally says.
Why would they take thermals out?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no,
But what I'm saying, they'd be huge on that map if you can't bloody see, you know?
Yes, but I mean, it's kind of a bit of a shit thing when that map is like thermals are necessary to be able to see.
Everyone's going to
enemies
have
on
their
the map.
creator classes. It's going to be like my try hard, my big
my
chungus
Miami
class,
map, just my Miami class.
me snippy snipey class, and my Miami map class. Yep.
Yeah. And then the other map was Moscow, which was kind of just your generic 3-lane area.
Classic Call of Duty.
Your generic Call of Duty map. Which I still really enjoyed the map. It was nice. It was fine. It was a decent map. And then there was the shit map that we got to play, which was for the ground war mode. Which I just fucking hate ground war in general. It's like a bigger. It's the best way I could say it is Call of Duty tries Battlefield.
Right.
It's a bigger sized map.
Well, how's the
It's
map
playing, I
design
think-
and everything for it? Like, regardless of the mode, if you don't
The
like
map
the gameplay
design's
of the mode,
the map design's nice. Like it's a really cool concept of a map. I get sick of such like giant maps where it's like I have to run fucking for 5-10 minutes to hopefully find somebody. Just like for God's sakes.
I think there are people that definitely enjoy it, so hopefully they
Absolutely,
can.
no, there definitely are. And there was also a snow map for the ground war mode as well.
Okay.
And that was actually probably my favorite of those two. Although I think the ship map has cooler concepts, the ground war map, just the way it was spread out, it was a lot easier to find enemies and shit. But I think, like, once you know the maps, again, a lot of those problems are kind of pushed to the
What are your
side.
thoughts on team deathmatches and stuff like that? And modes like that, because I have COD, but like the thing is, what really stops me from, I feel like most people in it, they play deathmatch, like just a really fast-paced kill again kind of mode.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really kind of, I know that turns me off it. I much prefer like things like CS, where it's like, set rounds.
So
have to
you
really
would
think
play
about
more
it.
of a search and destroy
See-
game mode, or
Yeah, you'd probably
Something like
be
that.
looking more
Yeah,
at search
something
and
like
destroy.
yeah, you
Yeah,
wouldn't do
what
like
I-
domination or team deathmatch or
Yeah,
kill
with
confirmed.
Yep.
Everything
Yeah.
is so quick. It's like, I feel like
Yeah,
it takes away.
I understand
I
that
don't
point of view.
know.
I personally like those modes just because it's like I don't have to think too much if I want to play it. If I'm playing a COD game, I'm not there to fucking think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm there to point my gun and shoot.
It
So
comes down to your
TDM.
game style
Yeah.
and your playing style. If
Yeah.
you want to, like, because I feel like CS and stuff you're talking about where it's more strategic, it's like Siege as well. You have to
Yeah, exactly.
focus
Yeah.
every game. Well, maybe not in Siege. You can
That's
fuck
what
around a little
that
bit.
matters, though.
But
because like deathmatch map design really doesn't. I mean, who really gives a fuck? Like too much of a fuck about map design. It's in CS where you have sides where shit matters.
Well, the problem with the thing is you can still give a shit about map design in TDM if it gets to a point where people are able to still cheese a map and cheese areas in a map that can just essentially turn it into I just keep running in here and getting shot, and there's no way to fucking avoid it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just turns into you running into bullets constantly, and then it's not fun. You're not actually having a competition or any form of competition at all. Like, you still want the competition when you're playing a TDM. It's just you don't want to have to be like, okay, I need to go to this area, bunker down here, capture this area, move on, and if I see enemies, I'll shoot them. Whereas, like, TDM, you're just like, I just want to kill motherfuckers and enjoy it. I just want to switch off.
A lot of people just switch off and go into autopilot and just play some TDM, some good old classic violence.
Absolutely.
The only reason I got into COD, like, when we first started and I played Warzone for, like, a month or two, was purely because I was just like, you know, I need something to, like...
Switch off.
Like, I need something mindless.
Yeah. And that's a lot of people that are thinking
that's
the
what
same
COD
thing.
does well. COD does that mindless stuff well, and you can actually incorporate a bit of how the movement and the tactics are, especially in this game, which is very much a lot of fucking slide jumping throughout the whole fucking map.
I'm probably the only one who bought it for the campaign. Like, I kind of like heard it was good, and I was
me. That was me too, man.
You did it as well?
Yeah.
Campaign was fucking
I played the campaign, and we've spoken about the campaign before. The campaign was fucking good.
I will probably buy this COD for the campaign again. Because the campaign
Does the
is
alpha
interesting.
do any part of the campaign? Yeah. Is it okay? How was it?
Well, we didn't get to touch it.
This was just a multiplayer alpha.
Multiplayer alpha.
Yeah.
All right.
But like the campaign, from what we've seen from like trailers and stuff, looks really fun and looks really cool and just out there, and I want to enjoy it.
Seems like they've really tried to go back to what makes these games good and bring in people that might have given up on the series and maybe draw them back because they are really trying to build this game into what Call of Duty used to be. And
also,
I think they're doing really well.
I wanted to bring one thing up.
Are they still doing the thing where they change like the
Characters?
No. The whole, like, you remember how it used to be like Activision would make one game and then Treyarch would make another?
Yeah.
We made Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer.
Yeah, are they still doing that? Like swapping
well,
between?
Last year was Infinity Ward. This is Treyarch, so next will be Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I just don't know if they.
No. So yes, this one's Treyarch this year.
Okay.
Because the Black Ops versions of COD is only Treyarch, Tolga, and Modern Warfare is only Infinity Ward, and then Sledgehammer's done like a number of different games. They've done Advanced Warfare and then World War II.
It seems too grand scale to me, I reckon. Like, I saw the trailer. I don't know. I think I saw this part where they were fighting on like a destroyer or like a submarine or something, and it seemed a bit too fast. They are definitely going a lot. They've completely changed from where Modern Warfare was, where it was like we want to kind of focus a bit more on the realism side of it. Whereas this is like this is very much this is like a campy 80s movie, 80s action flick.
It's a fun game, is what they're trying to sell. Just a good old fashioned fun Call of Duty game.
I mean, given that I don't know about Leon, but at least the three of us love Black Ops 1.
Oh yeah.
In terms of realism, what would you rate that one, and then compare it to the current one?
Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
I remember 2, but it was pretty decent.
If we're talking multiplayer purely, I can't remember too much of campaign because it was
campaign.
Look, the single player realistically wasn't very. They still did a lot of campy shit in Black Ops 1. Like, I think Modern Warfare, like the most recent, is probably the closest they've gone to trying to bite into realism.
They've always taken creative license with action and all that and made it a little more extra, where it isn't that realistic for entertainment purposes.
Example,
the only realistic problem I found with most of them, like, you're a couple of dudes and you kill like 500, like 1,000 people. That's the only
that's
thing.
a problem with you could argue that with like every fucking game.
But yeah, that's
I'm okay with that.
That's the thing
I'm
of
okay
playing a video game, though. It's like
Yeah.
the thing is you
Yeah.
need to have enemies to come up on, and
Yeah.
in this, you get shot by a gun. You get shot by a gun. It's not like it's like yeah, sure, you've got health, but it's not like
I mean,
Yeah.
games
come
do
back.
add in that like hardcore or hell mode sort of thing where I think
Yes.
COD have had that thing where if you do get shot, you're done. So you got to be
Yes.
that's for those
it's like
hardcore
one
fans.
shot and then you're fucked.
Yeah, one or
Modern
two
Warfare really enhanced that because they had that peeking around walls and stuff. It made it a lot seem like it was a lot fairer in the harder
is that
modes. 'Cause
feature in the new game, by the way?
no,
Okay.
it's not in the new game. To get rid of that slow pacing, they've just completely rid it.
And I don't totally disagree with that. I think mounting
I'm gonna
is
be
not
honest.
a bad thing, but I think to try and fasten up the gameplay is also a good move.
Yeah, they shouldn't keep like with how the game ran and how the movement felt. That as much as I love the peaking in Modern Warfare, it would have completely it would have confused how the game actually played.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, I'm going to sit here and lean over, but then that removes all the fast movement.
They've stuck with their
can you
guns on
still
this
do
one.
the whole mounting thing?
We just
Can you
mentioned
still do
that.
No.
That's what we were
No.
talking about.
So you can't mount on like walls or benches or anything like that.
Nothing.
No, but I meant like flat level mounting rather
nothing.
than around
Nothing.
the corner.
No mounting at all.
Old fashioned.
Because that was just handy, like specifically just like for sniper rifles.
Yeah.
Like it was just
Well, okay, so let's get into the sniping. The sniping is back to old Call of Duty, where it's just like
Nice.
quick scoping galore, bro.
Yeah, nice.
It's literally the satellite map, which is the desert map, was if you didn't enjoy just fucking around with a sniper rifle, just quit as soon as you see the satellite map, because that's all it fucking was everybody using snipers, and there'd be like that one guy with an assault rifle that'd try and run up on you and get quick scoped.
See that
It was like really fun though. Right? I really enjoyed it. I hated quick scoping in the old games because I could never get my mind around it. I was doing really decent in this one. Like I was getting 5 kill feeds and shit, and I was having a good time with it. I think
that does make me worry about the map though and its longevity, and for people that don't like sniping, because not everyone likes it. As people don't like shotguns, people don't like snipers.
Have maps for stuff, I think. I think you have maps for sniping, you have maps for whatever the fuck.
That's like people complaining about, the Warrior of Nuketown because it's so small and people don't want that archaic small
map. But it still
map.
had areas where you could snipe or where you could use other weapons other than shotgun.
Sure, but like it was so small though. The longevity of that sniping is still not as much as you do on a normal map.
I mean, on Nuketown you're gonna die anyway because it's so small.
I fucking hate Rust. All of those maps.
Yeah, but what I worry about with this map, because it is so open, is that are you saying all you can do to do well on this map is snipe?
No. You can. I run around with an AK number of times on this map because there's like the open area, which is like the like dunes, and then there's the rocky area, which is a lot more kind of closed off. You run around and
that's what was worrying me. If you didn't have a sniper, you couldn't do well, and I was like, that's not good map design then.
Absolutely not.
You should be a level map should be able to, have one more suited to it, but still be able to play different styles.
You can absolutely get away with not sniping. It's just because that map had that open-ended area, more people chose to snipe on that map because it was this is fun. We can just kind of bounce around on the dunes and pop our head up for a second, quick scope a motherfucker and pop down, But I want to move on to an actual conversation that was happening around Call of Duty Cold War, and that is people complaining that skill-based matchmaking is in this game again. And I just want to say...
people complain that it's in it.
People have been complaining that Call of Duty has skill-based matchmaking for fucking ages, and I think it is the dumbest complaint I've ever heard, because everybody's argument is, I hate that, I'm only slightly above average, but I have a good game, and then I'm put in a game full of sweats and I get fucked. So I don't want skill-based matchmaking because I want to be able to potentially find some noobs and kill them.
Let's flip that though, and we go back to.
I'm about to. Okay, I'm about to just drop. So their argument was, oh yeah, sure, it'll fuck over the noobs and people who are new to the game, but they should just get good. And I'm just gonna say that is the worst argument because I can flip that on you and say, just get good and start competing against the sweats. But you guys are fucking dumb. If anything, you guys need to be the ones that improve more once you get to that skill cap.
I understand, stupid. And especially for people that are good at the game, but we go back to what we were talking about with Call of Duty and why people play it, is people go to switch off. They don't want to always have to try and sweat in order to have a good game or enjoy the game. Because I know one of my mate Jamie, who's very good at Call of Duty, played it for years, he always is like, man, every time I go on, since I'm a good player, I always get the sweats and I always get such good players that I have to try and I have to be switched on every game. So it gets rid of that factor where you just want to switch off and play the game for playing the game, which we were talking about before.
But then the problem is it doesn't really, because realistically,
but it does.
Because you can still have skill-based matchmaking doesn't get rid of sweats.
No,
it
but
just
it
means
you never get a lobby
be
of people that are worse than you, so you don't have to try.
But you can then get multiple lobbies of sweats again anyway. It doesn't matter either way.
Why don't you just have both? Is there a ranked mode and a?
But there isn't a ranked mode. There isn't a ranked mode.
Yeah, what I mean,
but
there should be a casual.
But the thing though is ranked. People who want to play casually, let's say someone who's new to the game, they're brand new to the game. Your immediate thought is, I'm going to go casual, and you get rid of skill-based matchmaking there, and then you go into a lobby full of people who are much better than you because there's no skill-based matchmaking. You're going to get stomped to the point where you don't actually pick up on anything.
So you can get low tier, mid tier, and high tier. I mean, I don't see a problem of that at all, really.
Even what Mitch just said earlier about his mate going there to switch off, and then he gets in a game with people who are, sweats, and he feels like he starts becoming.
Yeah, he's on the higher tier of the multiplayer because of skill-based matchmaking.
But the thing is, just because you're playing there doesn't mean you need to be a sweat. You know what I mean?
Well, it's either that or it just dies.
I can understand the saying, well, then I'm just constantly thrown into bullet sponges and I have to constantly just think. I get that, but my thing is though, but then is it realistically fair to have people who aren't that good at the game being put up against someone like Jamie?
But there's no guarantee of that. But there is a guarantee with skill-based matchmaking if it's in there.
But there is a guarantee that they'll actually be able to learn the game a lot easier through skill-based matchmaking. Well, they'll be able to enjoy the beginning of the game a lot more through skill-based matchmaking. And no offense, from a business perspective, you're more likely wanting to get the people who aren't used to your game to be wanting to stay on for longer. Because the people who are average, they're already going to be there. The people who are above average, they're already going to be there.
Not really. There's a lot of people that do leave because they lose interest. Because every time they jump on, it's too hard. It's like Fortnite, Now everyone on there is fucking nuts. So old people don't go on because they can't go on and play casually or something,
But the issue isn't everyone... Look, let's say there's a bunch of tiers, right? And you have a bunch of skill sets. Wouldn't theoretically everyone in those skill sets try as hard? Because if they're low skill set, but they're versing other people who are low skill set, they're still going to have to think just as much to outthink people who are on their level. You feel?
Yeah, as in relative, effectively.
Yeah, it's fucking relative. Yeah.
Well, the thing with once you get to a certain skill cap with COD, it's just you essentially have to turn into constantly slide jumping around corners and aiming. You can't just run
so
around.
There's no in between.
You have to
there's monkey brain or showing IQ. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If there was
if you're, for me, I'm the average. I'm an average. I'm not above average. I'm the average tier. So I have moments where I will get put into a sweat lobby. And yeah, I get fucked, but I don't I go, okay, shit. I sucked at the game. I'll get better. I'll think a little bit more. I'll actually play the game how these guys are playing it and try and one-up them.
But you'll progressively get better as you play the game in general. So even if these beginner players come into sweats a couple times in every every session, they're still going to learn from it and they're going to get better and they're going to learn what they do.
You can still play at that level and not be a sweat, though.
Well, I mean, there's always a meta.
There's a point where
there's always a meta.
It gets to a point it does get to a point where the skill tier is.
No, there's obviously try-harding, but if you're talking about those people who are effectively just aids to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're the type of people that you see smash their face through a window type thing.
Mm.
Yeah, but so that doesn't mean it's not going to be. It's going to be more enjoyable just because they're going to get angry at the game. What's that? I mean, that doesn't make enjoyment.
I take enjoyment out of that.
Yes, but it's not like we're physically seeing them. If I got to see the person smashing their window, maybe I would enjoy it a little more.
I just think in a casual multiplayer experience, you should be able to get all levels in your game. And if you want to go at your level or wherever you may be on the tier list, you should go play ranked.
I think ranked definitely needs to be added. I 100% agree. Ranked needs to be a thing. I don't understand why COD doesn't put a ranked mode in. But I also think that maybe they should have options for casual as well. They should have a non-skill based option and a skill based option.
Yeah.
For people who are
you could have it in settings.
Shit at the game.
Just be turn off skill based matchmaking or turn it on.
Because if there's people who are shit at the game, that you don't want to be put with potentially someone who is going to curb stomp you so much that you don't even get to pull the trigger. You don't want that shit happening.
If you want to do because Call of Duty does a lot of challenges, right, with their guns in order to get gold skins, whatever, diamond skins, whatever it is. The amount of rage and effort you would have to go through to do it on a fucking sweaty lobby because you're at that skill level.
Oh yeah,
and you're trying to get riot kill fucking swacks or something. I don't know. I don't play the game, but yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just think I totally understand.
I'm trying different things, so I'm going to go into the casuals and muck around with them.
My only problem is I don't like the argument of get good. I just don't think that's a justifiable argument to say to noobs because the argument can be flipped right back to them, and
exactly. I'm not saying just get good. I'm just saying I think it's
no. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that was the argument that most people were throwing.
Yeah, no, that's not logical when people aren't thinking about it. But yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. Move on. This is the big one. This is the biggest piece, in my opinion. Microsoft bought Bethesda.
Yeah, I saw that. Big news.
$2.5 billion.
That's a lot of money and a lot of memes.
Which is the second biggest video game company purchase of all time. Not the biggest, surprisingly.
What's the biggest?
Have a guess. You won't be able to fucking guess it, but have a guess.
Sega.
No.
I'm gonna get Activision Blizzard.
No. Good guess, Leon, but no.
Microsoft buying TikTok. I don't know.
It's not a video game acquisition, but sure.
No, I was just saying something.
But no, it was Supercell. Do you guys know the name Supercell?
I do, but
it's the guys who made Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. Tencent.
Oh my
god! That makes sense.
Tencent. That makes sense. Supercell for I think it was over $8 billion or something, or $10 billion or some shit.
Wait, who bought it?
Tencent.
Gee, the irony in that name. Oh my god.
Tencent?
Yeah, that's funny. But no, this is massive, man. This is
dude. How is Microsoft with all the ethical side of things? I wouldn't know as much about you.
They're not Ubisoft, that's for sure.
Yeah. They're definitely not Ubisoft, but there doesn't seem to be we haven't got anything. We don't know completely.
If your name isn't Ubisoft, you get our tick of approval.
The bad thing I've heard tied with Microsoft is shit going on within 343 Industries, which is the guys who are doing Halo at the moment. They're the only splotch on the Microsoft name that I know that I've heard of that's come out in the public. But I should probably preface this: Microsoft didn't buy Bethesda. They bought ZeniMax, which is the guys who own Bethesda. So
right. So they're the bosses of Bethesda.
Yeah, they bought the big boys that own Bethesda.
My only concern with this is that going to make Elder Scrolls a Microsoft exclusive?
Halo Chief is now a playable character in Elder Scrolls Tolga.
Now,
just so you know.
Okay, well, so Phil Spencer and Todd Howard have spoken because people immediately went, wait, Deathloop, for example, is a PS5 exclusive, and so is Ghostwire Tokyo. And both of these guys own it. What the fuck's going on now? And then also Elder Scrolls 6, etc. And Phil Spencer said, we are going to honor those agreements. They're written in. Like, the contract's there. Yeah. We can't say anything anyway. But they did say they are... Like, exclusivity is going to be a case-by-case basis. So that's not saying that it won't be exclusive, but it's not saying it will be. I don't think they will, personally.
Yeah, but then what about the one after that?
I don't think... My only thing is, I do not think that maybe Elder Scrolls, Doom, and Fallout will become exclusive. I do not think they will.
I personally, I'm on another train to Tolga. I don't actually care about like what's exclusive because like I feel like PC most people can get
of course. We will get. Yeah. I'm not in the minority of I won't get this game. I've got a PC. I'll get Elder Scrolls 6 and I'll get all that. But the problem is, for example, Tolga, you're going to buy a PS5. I'm assuming Tolga's fucked if it becomes an exclusive.
Hey, I'm gonna get a PC. I'm saving for it.
Here's the thing. Look, they spent $7.4 billion on it. They've got to get that return, son.
Yes, of course. But the thing is, though...
Yeah, but then the argument is going to be made that you'll make more money if it's available on both platforms.
True.
Yeah, we don't know that. We don't know if they're gonna do the number crunching. Their marketing team's gonna.
I don't know if they will make it exclusive just because there would be a massive blowback for this. Simply because like it's not like Microsoft buying Bethesda and then Bethesda makes new games that are exclusive. Like we're talking about franchises that have been multi-platform since Bethesda has owned them.
Have you guys seen the memes with this?
They might do the 1 year thing where they go, oh, for the first year it's only available for this console.
Oh my god!
Even then, I'm not sure if they will. They might. I'd even maybe hazard to say you get the DLC early. That's the closest I'd get it.
They've always done that for Xbox, though.
I'm just here for the memes.
They've done that for Skyrim.
Yeah, I think they'll do that. I think though the big point though to mention is Xbox Game Pass.
Nothing.
What was that?
You and I just had stints of like talking and like absolutely nothing being said.
No, I'm just here for the memes. I love the memes.
No, Game Pass. You know? Like
what about
Game Pass? That shit. Like, they announced that Bethesda will be going to Xbox Game Pass.
Maybe we should leave these two alone.
Which I think is honestly quite interesting. I'm just ignoring it. I'm just fucking ignoring
I don't know what they're saying. I heard they're just like talking a little bit of shit every now and then. But
yeah, I just ignored them completely. But
what I was gonna say, I personally don't care about microtransactions unlike you most of the time. But I swear, if ES6 has microtransactions,
I don't think it will.
I highly doubt it will, but even if it's like a skin, I'll be pissed off.
Well, I mean...
Yes. I'm sorry, I just made it my life's like goal to derail.
Anyway, but no, I think the big thing for me is Xbox Game Pass will get Elder Scrolls 6, the new Fallout, all of that, day one.
So what was now.
You had a nice day,
which is, in my opinion, that's massive. Like, that's really fucking massive. You can't shut the fuck up. Anyway, no, that's really fucking massive, though, because we're talking about a subscription-based system that could give you the next biggest RPG, day one, for $10 for that month.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's fucking massive.
And that's a great deal.
Like that's really fucking big. And it's again, it shows like how good Game Pass is as a deal.
It is, but I don't want games to go in that direction. Like of what movies have. Like who's bought a movie since like fucking? I haven't bought a movie in so long. I don't know about you. You probably buy animes. You buy anime books for Christ's sakes.
I buy physical for DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, for DVDs. Look,
but that's because for me, movies and that, the quality is so much different when you own physical versus digital comparatively to a game.
Like playing something on a Blu-ray player is so much better than watching it off
the
Netflix.
Quality, yeah, the quality is just dramatically different.
Dude, it's insane.
It's actually crazy how different a streamed version of a movie versus.
Okay, but can you tell the difference if it's an anime?
Yeah, you can sometimes, but not. It depends on the anime. It depends on the anime. It does depend on the anime. More so with movies, like anime movies.
I just hate subscriptions.
Yeah, anime movies definitely.
I'm allergic.
Well, the thing is, Leon, they're not like the good thing about Game Pass. Even if you don't like subscriptions, is games are going up in price now.
Yeah, sure.
Like they are. PlayStation has announced that their games are going to be more. On JB, their games are labeled as nearly, some of them even $130. Demon's Souls specifically for PS5.
Wow.
Base game. And that's obviously not going to be its actual price. That's just because they don't know what price PlayStation's going to set right now.
Yeah. This is Australian dollars, by the way, for people if they're confused.
Yeah. And so they've just set a high bar so that if PlayStation changes it, they can bring it down versus setting it too low and then having to push it up.
Which will piss a lot of people off, yeah.
Exactly. But
anything pisses a lot of people off nowadays.
It's still going to go up more than what we want. So having Game Pass where it's $10 a month, if I play and finish at minimum 2 games,
that makes sense.
In 1 year, I'm still getting my money back.
Look, that makes sense. I think the reason I don't like it is because I'm unlike you, who plays like a lot of different games. I'm one of those dudes who like buy a couple and get balls deep in a couple of games.
Absolutely.
You know?
I totally get that. But I think the other good thing with this is I'm like someone who does do that. They then have to think, is this game going to be worth my money, or am I going to be let down? And so if they get Game Pass, they can try it out and see if they actually will enjoy it as well.
This podcast is the closest it can be to being sponsored by the Game Pass without actually being sponsored.
We're just advertising them for free. That's it.
The free advertisement we're giving you. You might as well sponsor us.
It's a really good consumer move. Of course, I'm going to keep talking about how good it is.
No, it really is. It really is.
Thing.
When you were talking before, I couldn't stop laughing though. You sounded like you were just saying an advertisement. You were reading off a piece of paper. It was great. We were like, all these great deals that come out, and it's only $10. That's a great price. And just
I think bro. Like it's $5 still for PC right now, but it's going up soon. So I'm just saying $10 now.
Get in quick, guys.
Is anyone else hungry?
Hungry for deals? Am I right? Game Pass users.
Anyway, let's move on. PS5 pre-orders were a fucking nightmare.
Everything's a nightmare.
Did any of you get in?
No.
Oh, you dirty boy.
I don't have the money for that. I'm getting a dog.
Boy.
I
believe it's pronounced Doge.
A Doge. I'm getting a Doge. Sorry.
So like all over the world, PlayStation 5 pre-orders was kind of a big fuckery because PlayStation announced the day after the stream was when the pre-orders were going to begin, and American retailers just went, or right now you can pre-order it. And broke store date, and so everybody shut themselves. Went on. People missed out on buying a PS5.
Yeah.
A lot of people did. They were expecting
but that was expected to happen anyways. But you were saying
it's the day after, the day before the actual release date was meant to be.
But
You have to say that about PS5s, don't you?
But the problem is people aren't prepared, so then they fuck up. They're waiting a day, and then they've missed out on the chance to even click on it because they didn't even realize.
But there's two ways you can think of it, because there's also a scenario you told me about as well, Andrew. I think you're about to say it.
What?
We'll talk about if it was the other way and it came out on the release date.
I'm about to. So, people shat on PlayStation, like, absolutely fucking shat on them, were pissed off saying, this is unacceptable, like, look at Nvidia. Nvidia showed off gave us 3 weeks notice. And because Nvidia gave people 3 weeks notice, all the scalpers created bots and flooded the websites and bought off all of Nvidia's graphics cards.
I was about to say that as well.
Yeah, and so now we've got the opposite problem, and to boot, Xbox's pre-orders came out today, and it's also had the same problem. And they gave a 2-week announcement.
So you can't win. Either way, you can't win.
So, it's
I personally like waiting for after it's out for a couple of months. Just in case, like when the 360 came out, everyone's broke down like after a day of play. You know.
Well, I mean, the first ones off are always going to have some factory issues. That's why the warranties are there, though. But
I mean, they're going to sell it quick. You might as well just wait a few months.
Absolutely, you might as well wait.
What's the hurry, dude? There's no releases anyways.
What are you laughing at, Leon?
I got it. I bought a PS5. I got one.
Have you guys seen the PS5 secured meme?
No.
You guys haven't? Oh, no. Well, I won't talk about it here. I'll send some to you guys.
Well, you can just send it to us in the chat.
Hey, I'm here for the memes.
I got a PS5 strictly for Demon Souls. I don't give a fuck. I want Demon Souls day one in my belly. That trailer literally convinced me to pre-order the PS5.
That's an insult, dude. They spent 2 hours talking about the SSD and you just get it for Demon Souls?
Bro.
I mean, God of War 2, that one gives me goosebumps every time.
Yeah, but that's coming out next year, bro. Don't give a fuck.
I've still watched it 7 times and I get goosebumps every single time.
Yeah,
Demon Souls' gameplay really is just.
I'm so excited for the PS6, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, I think that the argument of
for NAC 3
complaining that NAC 3, but no, I think the complaining to PlayStation about not giving people enough time is kind of stupid, just because we had the same problem, but but the other way around, when people got given so much time.
God.
Have you seen it? You guys seen the memes?
I'm not looking at it.
Oh, I can't look at it. I'm recording.
We'll look at the memes after. We'll look at them after, okay?
Yeah.
But no, anyway, so yeah, that's my one thing about it, man. Whose fucking Discord's going off?
I can't hear anything.
It's not me. I can't hear a thing.
Is my Discord just like shitting itself? What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Anyway,
I don't know, Mr. Pixel.
Discord messages.
What do you think?
Discord messages. Anyway,
Captain, don't fail us.
Next story piece. Cyberpunk 2077's main story was shortened.
Why and how?
So the reason they shortened it was because not many people finished the Witcher 3 campaign. And so they, statistically, the amount of people that bought it versus the amount of people that finished the actual campaign, the main story, they went, well, we'll make the story a bit shorter so people can finish the main story, but we're going to just make all the side stuff. There'll be a lot more side stuff.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm a little frustrated though, because I'm like, guys, don't, just because statistics say they didn't finish it, they still bought your game.
What about Red Dead 2? Is it do they know how long? Do we know how long this campaign's going to be, or they release that in comparison to like Red Dead 2 or Witcher 3? What?
Well, statistically speaking, the longer the campaign is, and the more people who buy the game, just full stop, if any of those variables increase, then then
Of
there's
course
going
there's
to be a lot of people who don't
But I
finish
think
it.
it was a dramatic percentage, though. I think it was a dramatic percentage.
Okay.
I still
It was a
think
long campaign.
Yeah.
There was so many side.
it was pretty fucking long. And I
That's a
think
little bit funky, bro.
in
well,
my
this
head,
happened
Just
a
because
lot
it
earlier
gives-
on.
Just because it gives the opportunity for poor writing to occur. Not saying that they will do poor writing, but you know what I mean. It's like the whole thing that I think we spoke about it when the Suicide Squad trailer was released, where like
good
the
writing.
director was like, "Oh, there's like 3.5 hours of film here," and they were like, "No, you have to cut out almost half of it."
Oh, the original film.
Yeah.
Mm.
The original film was exit long, and they were like, "Nah, you got to cut it to half that
Yeah,
length."
I'm not like.
And
just-
then what happens is it's like this scene doesn't make sense.
I would agree
That's-
with you, but they did say this happened early on in the production of the game.
in my head,
Sean,
like in my head, it makes sense to make the main story longer and the side story shorter, because the way I play games, I don't really care that much about side story. You know, I'm not going to be the guy that 100% these sort of games. Really.
That's where you are wrong, muchacho.
I mean,
I
I
play these
do.
games well.
If I play a solo game, I generally do try and finish at least most of it. But I would like a longer main story than longer side stories. That's how I think.
I totally see what you mean. I think it's.
I don't care about the side stories as much. I would rather have more investment into the main story and make that longer.
I'm equal in both. I'm very much. I like the main story, and the side story is also just as important because some of the side stories can be the most interesting parts of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends how they're done. Like in The Witcher 3, the side story is great.
The side stories are the best part.
Hey, what about that one where you save that old lady's pen? She's
That was
like,
the best
this
I
bride
love that
has
one.
been handed down from generations to generation.
I love that fucking one.
I
You do
remember
a
that
fetch quest
It's
for a
like-
frying
Yeah.
pan.
And it's like been used in some like. The joke is though, it's been used in some crazy fucking conspiracy. They stole it to use it to get charcoal to write like a letter, like a spy to write a letter. But all you're focusing on is giving this lady back the pen. Like that was the point of the story, which was fucking funny. It was such a good fucking mission.
I just like the one where voice talk.
Yeah,
The whole personality and everything. Dude, I was so sad when he stopped talking. I was like,
no, keep this. Keep this. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. But yeah, that came out. They did say this happened early on in the story. I hope it doesn't affect it too much. Like, I'm still so excited for this game. So I'm hoping it doesn't ruin the main story too much. But I am more excited about Cyberpunk's side stuff. I think Cyberpunk, CD Projekt.
Plus, you know what I think should be taken into account in terms of them cutting back the story. So, like, in Witcher's case, for example, right, there's a lot of games that fantasy, you know, like customization, RPG, etc., but there's none that sort of do the whole, like, you know, like cybernetic future enhancements things, RPG-wise, as in actively, you know, for example, the only ones I can think of is Fallout, sort of, and
Deus
Fallout-
Ex.
Yeah, and Deus Ex, and that's
Deus
about
Ex.
it.
I compared Cyberpunk more to Deus Ex than Fallout.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that this like Cyberpunk in general is different to like.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I think also people complaining about like potentially shortening the story. They said they shortened it. They didn't say how much, and that, for all we know, it could have ended up being like a fucking 100-hour-long main story, and they've cut it down to like 50 to 60 hours. You know, we don't know the full extent just yet.
They could have cut one mission off or two missions off. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know the full extent of it, and like I said, for me, my favorite parts of CD Projekt previous game, Witcher 3, was the side stuff. So the main story isn't as much of a problem for me. Like, I want it to still be good, but I'm there to explore this fucking
So
city.
we're backing them in on this, right? We're backing them
Dude,
in at a time.
I'm really
On the
keen just to be like a cyborg.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just
like,
excited for this game.
I've
This
wanted a
game-
game so bad.
You want
I
a
wanted
Terminator
game that's
RPG.
like, yeah, like I wanted one so badly for so long, and just
I am really excited for this game.
and the fact that they've gone into the whole like penis size, like it's just
really into some character
it's just like you can tell someone like at their production was just like.
I'm gonna make like a corpo guy that's really aggressive and has a small penis to compensate.
It's just next level immersion. This is the future. This is the future.
That's okay. Before we
Robot
mean the fuck out of what I said, I just mean it's one of those, like, you can tell the guy who was in charge of it was like, all right, I wanted Terminator the RPG for so long, and now I'm finally doing it. I'll be damned if I don't go way too into detail.
Well, yeah,
So the future is having a Terminator
customization that's similar to Elder Scrolls, or we could just go the whole 9 yards and give you every fucking decision you could possibly make.
Technically, we're still waiting for that Terminator RPG where we can make
I'll probably
Arnie's
play
penis
the game
size,
4
2
times
inches.
just to manipulate.
Dude, I'm gonna play this game multiple times because
Here's the thing: is it made to be played multiple times? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So, like,
100%.
Yeah, your choices affect.
your
here's
choice
my
is different. Your starting choice completely affects how the main mission, the starting missions of the game. The first 4 hours is different depending on your starting choice.
It's like a
So
bigger.
For example, with Skyrim, right? For example, with Skyrim, you know how when you jump in, you really have to go past Helgen, and you can essentially start, and you don't even have to do the main campaign. You know, you can, for example, Dark Brotherhood, you can just jump there and do that quest line and have that character be like, a Dark Brotherhood dude.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So with all the different street gangs, is that like the option, or are they all have to be tied?
Are you
Do you have to?
are you
the thing 4 times?
particularly asking about like scaling? As
No,
in,
you don't join the gangs. You don't join the gangs.
Oh, you don't?
I don't think no. So
I feel like it's
the story choices primarily affect like the beginning choices depends on where you start. So you've got the nomad, the corpo, and the street smart.
Yeah.
The street kid. And so that depending on which one you choose, you'll have a completely different introduction to the game and completely different missions to begin with. Like I saw this and I didn't even know this was a thing. One YouTuber, Alana Pierce, she's actually in the game, but she is only available in the game if you start as the nomad. She is a early on nomad mission, and you cannot fucking see her or play her mission if you do not start as the nomad. So, assuming that, you will have the same thing for Streets, Kid, and Corpo.
You'll have 3 playthroughs. You'll have 3 to get the full.
But then on top of that, depending on your choices, you could have multiple different branches on top of that. You know,
the way I'm thinking about that sort of storyline is like it's a bigger and broader version of like Life is Strange, where your things influence the story and where it goes on a bigger scale. On a bigger scale.
No, I wouldn't even say Life is Strange because in reality, Life is Strange didn't affect much at all.
Life is Strange,
I reckon.
No, because the ending ends up at the same. As in, it ends with the same 2 points. But
I'm saying this is on a bigger scale, but it's following that same sort of.
I mean, you could say that.
You can agree with it, disagree with it. That's just what I said.
We don't know. You don't know if starting only affects the start or affects the end as well.
Well, they have said that like there will be choices that will completely affect how the game plays on.
Okay.
So like, you could make a decision that could fuck you over later on. For all you know, like, and even if it ends up not being as true, I'm okay with that. If I have the knowledge of, oh my god, am I going to make the wrong decision? That's going to enhance my gameplay experience so much because I'm just going to be so stressed if I fucked up majorly later on down the line. But anyway, let's move on. Ubisoft. Now,
Oh
Ubisoft.
no, not the Ubisoft.
No, don't worry.
Rap god.
No, Ubisoft game called Immortals Phoenix Rising, which was announced or shown off last week in their Ubi Forward. It originally came out and was announced as a game called Gods of Monsters. And weirdly enough, they changed the name, and people were wondering why, because Gods and Monsters sounds a bit better. It's a lot easier than Immortals Phoenix Rising, and people were wondering why they changed the name. And it turns out that Monster Energy threatened legal action for including the term monsters in their title for the game. And part of their argument was, because we have a foothold in the video game industry, such as our game Supercross Monster Energy Supercross, people will get confused and it could sully our name. So
Sully.
Stop it! You're making me agree with fucking Ubisoft, and I'm not gonna do it.
It shows how
I'm not doing it.
It shows how dangerous it puts a negative light on the term monster, and that's just bad. Like, I love playing Monster Energy Hunter. That's one of my favorite games. Like, it's so fucking dumb. It's like, and Ubisoft did say, like, there are other games that are fucking cool.
The AAA multi-million-dollar franchise. Monster.
As stupid as this is, I'm not too mad at the same time, because I'm like, oh, this is just AAA companies getting their just desserts a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with the Ubisoft. I refuse, even though
it's not even that. It's more they do the same shit.
Yeah, they do.
Smaller indie companies, so it's kind of amusing having a AAA developer cop that same shit.
I think it's so stupid and so petty, but you're so right. You're so right.
It's probably politics as well. It's probably just politics as well. It's probably because, Ubisoft stepped on their toes somewhere along the way, and they just want to fuck them back.
No one at Ubisoft drinks Monster. They only drink Red Bull.
They probably know if they go to court, they'll lose. But
I only inject caffeine.
Heroin is my energy drink.
Straight from the tube.
And it's probably just politics. It's probably like they don't actually give a fuck.
I don't know. The problem is with copyright law is if they let too many people off the hook with their things that might potentially breach their copyright. If someone then does breach it, they could then argue, well, you were pretty lax for these things, and you've allowed these things to go off if an actual legal lawsuit was to happen. So Ubisoft skipped the lawsuit completely. They knew they could have won. They just went, fuck it, we're not doing
They probably would have, but they were just like, I see.
100% would have. It was probably just
They just couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
Which I think is just, it's like I said, it's more amusing just because, you have companies like Bethesda who stopped a game called Scrolls from existing because it had scrolls in it.
I mean, also from a PR perspective, they're like, shit, we've had a lot of stuff about us lately. Let's just get rid of the conflict now. We've got enough.
Well, actually, I feel like if they'd have done that, people would have been on their side, in all honesty.
I just think that they would not want to be in the news about this.
Well, I want to bring up as well with the Ubi Forward, there was, again, no apology.
Yeah.
They did post an apology on their Twitter, again. A video apology with the CEO. At least this time they used the Ubi Forward hashtag, but they, again, argued the same thing, and that was, oh no, we didn't have time to edit it in.
Make time.
Fucking bullshit. And I do want to say again as well that they also said, oh, but we'll put it in our VODs of the Ubi Forward. So people will see it if they want to watch the video on demand. That's not true. It's not on the VODs. I went back and checked. It's still not on the VODs. This is 2 weeks now. It's been 2 weeks. So I just want to say you've made an apology, sure, but it's not good enough because
We should make a song about Ubisoft.
you're still trying to covertly apologize. You're just making this apology to say down the line when they say you haven't. Oh no, we did. It was on our Twitter though. It's that. It's not good enough. But that's all I wanted to say on it. I just found it really amusing that Monster Energy just tried to threaten them because they had Monster in their title.
Speaking of Monster, and I don't know how we totally skipped over this.
Yes, I do work out daily. Thank you, Tolga. I am an absolute monster.
Hilarious.
Death Stranding.
No, I'm going to bring up the Nintendo Direct that was.
That's coming up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
fuck you, Tolga. You're going ahead of the script. Didn't you read the script?
Sorry, I'm not captain.
Sorry.
Go clean up our shit, dude.
Please.
But no, it is actually what was next on the list. Nintendo Direct Mini.
So Andrew just went, I'm going to talk about it, Tolga.
Yeah. I just wanted to shut the fuck up.
That's great.
Yeah.
Go
as you
get the
mentioned,
fucking bucket and clean our shit, Tolga.
Hunter Rise,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
know.
We had a mini direct for the partner stuff. We got Monster Hunter Rise.
Is that getting sued by Monster?
It's a Switch. It's a Monster Hunter for the Switch. You can ride a dog fox being.
Yeah, so you know how there's
Looks like a fox. It was very confusing.
Oh, I thought it looked like a weird, like
I just thought it was a fox.
Hunter art style wolf.
Yeah,
What is
but I just
the
I thought it was
palicos
fox.
are the cats. What are the dogs again?
I don't remember. But anyway, so we got Monster Hunter Rise, which looks like a graphically dumbed down Monster Hunter world. Like they've got the open-ended side of world that hasn't been in a Monster Hunter book on the Nintendo console, which is really exciting.
Nice.
Palamute.
Palamute.
That's what the dogs are called. Palamute.
Anyway, we got Monster Hunter
Oh
Stories.
my god,
too.
Jesus Christ. You're just slapping me around, bro.
What?
You're just shutting me down.
That was really cool, Tolga. You know the name of the dogs? Well done, dude. You know what? You take the next segment. You go.
Sorry, I just thought it was a bit inconsequential.
No. Andrew. Bring it back. Tolga, go.
I'm
Go.
just heartbroken.
No, Tolga, you've got it. No, you've got it.
Sorry.
I don't want to do it anymore.
No, you're acting like me now.
No, actually, what did you think about Rise? What did you think about Monster Hunter Rise?
Tolga's acting like
Look.
me now.
Yeah.
Some say it's intentionally.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean,
Inconsequential.
I don't know if it'll hold up to Monster Hunter World, just because obviously the Switch is less powerful, So it just sort of feels like it feels like a weird substitute. You know what I mean? Especially since it's like the next sequel in the series.
All right, great. That's been
exactly?
Tolga's segment. Andrew, back to you, mate. We'll see you next week, Tolga. We'll see you next week.
But just to carry on what you were saying, Tolga, I do agree. I was a bit kind of just. It looks like it'll be fun, but because the graphics are so toned down for the Switch, I was just kind of oh, okay.
It's just
Still a better port than Mario.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not a port. It's not comparable, really.
I was trying to word like the dumb comment just kind of fucking fizzled out my brain. I was like,
I just wanted to shit on Nintendo a little bit.
rebuttal against this idiotic statement.
I started the stream by saying everyone's idiots, and I'm just...
It looks like it's got the grandeur of Monster Hunter World, but then it's on a less powerful...
The thing is, Monster Hunter World isn't going away, though. Monster Hunter World is still going to continue. They said it's going on to next gen. They're going to show off. They're going to bring out probably new expansions constantly. I feel like the thing is, though, Monster Hunter has really been a very strong community within the Nintendo community.
It has been, especially specifically the whole handheld aspect of it.
So I think it'll be good. Like the monsters looked really cool, actually. I liked the monsters.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, oh wow, this is like the unofficial sequel because it's the second game, to include Palico, blah 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 blah, etc. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, but it looks less.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
And do you know what the weird thing? I think it would have looked better if they went full on into the cartoony art style, but they didn't go far enough because they had like cartoony characters, but then the monsters design was not even the monsters necessarily, but like the actual maps, like the textures on the maps. They tried to go for that weird realism, but they can't actually do too much detail, so it looks really old and outdated.
Yeah.
Which is just a bit of a shame. Anyway, we'll move on though. We've got Monster Hunter Stories, which is essentially Monster Hunter Pokemon.
Ooh, Pokemon
Monster Hunter
game.
Stories 2.
Also, a different thing that they announced in that Nintendo Direct was a Arctic survival-esque thriller game.
Talking about Long Dark.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting to that. I'm going through the order.
Alright,
Going through the order, motherfucker. God damn.
Alright, we've had Andrew, we've had mine, and we've had Tolga's segment.
6.
Leon, I'm taking the bucket from you, man. Do you want to have a segment?
So we got Disgaea 6 as well. That was pretty shit. Disgaea I just don't care about. Empire of Sin.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, it's a Mafia version of like Crusader Kings. So a grand strategy, but if you were a mob boss. Sniper Elite 4 port to the Switch. It's a port, so whatever. Cool. And then Long Dark, which was shadow dropped. That's been on PC for a while. Yeah, it looks fun. It looks interesting. I'm just so sick of survival games. So like, but like, I think it does look interesting. It's one with its art style, and the setting is a lot more interesting compared to others, in my opinion. We got like PGA Tour 2021. Who gives a fuck about a golf game?
Who plays golf?
Hades got shown and then was just like, "Yep, it's out today." Which,
yes,
that was everybody knew anyway. Because fun fact, Nintendo fucked up a couple weeks ago and accidentally said coming out. They like fixed a thing and said it'll be coming out on the 16th of September, and then went, coming out this holiday.
Yeah.
God damn it. No, and then it just went, no, coming out September. That was it. It's like, coming out September. They took out the 16th.
So good.
So they goofed
it looks fucking great.
Game,
that's why.
Super Giant?
Yeah, Super Giant.
Super Giant have made great games. Like Bastion's awesome, Transistor's awesome. So I'd expect Hades to also be of that higher tier.
I like the art style, man. I love the color.
The character designs, man. The character designs are really cool.
So good.
Anyway, next one. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, especially like when you get involved with certain gods, like aspects of your body change, and that's why the character model is so colorful, because you can have adverse effects from
Anyway, let's
entire pantheon.
Balan Wonderworld. It's like a Square Enix puzzle platformer that looks like it could not run on the Switch at all. The frame rate was fucking horrible. I don't know if you saw it.
Give me a game that's you reckon that's it, no higher.
What? The best game in existence
on the Switch?
As in what it can handle.
Oh, the Switch.
What's the highest capacity game it can handle? I don't know, because I don't play, so I'll let these boys...
Breath of the Wild, I guess.
You reckon?
Breath of the Wild.
Probably,
because even then it had frame rate issues at certain points in Breath of the Wild, so... Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, because there are some ports of Doom 2016, and it runs pretty well. So there are some ports that surprisingly run well. Witcher 3, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I guess that's a case by case file.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. I'm The Witcher 3. Look, I know it's really old, but it looks pretty demanding, and it can run on the Switch.
Well, I will tell you though, there is a massive graphics downgrade on the Switch.
So that's probably what they had to do.
Compare it, like, it doesn't look too bad. Like, it looks bad if you're playing on TV. Play it on handheld, you don't. It looks pretty fucking good. It's just once you put it on the TV, when you up the resolution, you go, oh shit. Handheld, it looks perfectly fine. But like, we also got I think, sorry, just to go back to Balan Wonderworld, the only thing that was weird with that was it's not graphically demanding, but it was choppy, man. Like, they were jumping and it looked like they were going in slow-mo. It looked really fucking badly optimized. Rune Factory 5, which looks like a new RPG, JRPG, looks alright. And then the final one was Ori Will of the Wisps.
Yeah. That's a popular series, isn't it?
Well, it's a very popular Xbox first-party game. So this is the second Xbox exclusive that's gone onto the Switch. First being Cuphead, which has now gone to PlayStation as well.
Yep, Cuphead's
now,
classic.
but Cuphead is owned by Xbox.
Classic game, all-time classic rage game.
Very good game. Anyway, that's gaming news, but I wanted to dabble in a bit of anime.
A little bit of anime?
I want to ask, what's your opinion on the SAO progressive announcement? I'm actually excited.
Can you explain it to me? I saw something about it, but I didn't read
I'm going to
into
tell you what it is. SAO progressive was a light novel that essentially they completely rewrote SAO.
Right.
They went, hey, instead of doing what we did and skip through
all the flaws.
They go through all the flaws.
Yeah.
So they got
that's right.
And so it's essentially Sword Art Online, but
done properly.
They actually had each floor had a story arc.
Look, if they do it right, I don't know any SAO fan that would not be excited about this.
Well, so
it's kind of what we've been asking for ever since they changed the direction halfway through season 1. You know? Yeah,
so I read the manga of Progressive. But they didn't have much released when I read it. I read like 40 chapters of it, and I really enjoyed what they had.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But they were only up to 40 chapters in, Leon. They were only up to level 3.
But at the same time, if they do this wrong, or it's boring, or anything like that, the series is going to take a massive, massive hit in popularity.
I don't know, because they're still going to have Alicization going on as well.
Which is good, but I mean, if they stuff up this, which everyone's been asking for years, I think it's going to really impact them.
It's also interesting because it primarily follows Asuna as well.
This is more of it's like a spin-off almost, if you really...
Yeah, it's a spin-off. It's really...
I don't really...
It's like an altered dimension.
Yeah, kind of.
You already know the ending.
There are parts that change as well within.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, oh no, does Kuroto die? Like it's.
No, but the thing is though, some of the stories within.
It's how they execute.
Because they showed off in SAO later on down the line that happened in Ironclad. Were really cool and really interesting. So it's cool to actually see them fleshed out and. You know, I just think they're not following Kirito either. They're following Asuna, and so Asuna, you get a different story dynamic following Asuna as well.
Yeah.
Considering out of the two, Asuna's definitely the more interesting character.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fairly decent one. Like I enjoyed the manga, and it's exciting to see that.
Did they give a release date or anything on that?
I did not see. I just saw that it was announced, and I lacked it a little.
Well, I'm excited.
I also wanted to see the progression of February. What that went.
Oh, dude, the manga. So the weird thing with the manga is, it like after a certain amount of chapters, they changed artist, and every artist was a hentai artist. So, like, every fucking. You are damn right there were fucking titty scenes all over the place. And so, if they do that... Dude, there is a whole chapter... There is a whole chapter of Asuna in a bath with an elf girl, a naked elf girl, and that is a chapter. and it is spicy. The elf girl specifically, but like the story stuff that they like, just to throw some stuff, like a lot of it is, instead of it focusing just on, oh my god, I can die in the game, I die in real life. It's also focusing on how realistic the NPCs were as well. So, like, for example, that elf girl, she's a programmed AI, but Asuna is getting weirdly attached to her because they are so realistic, and so it's this, like, weird... Like, it's a lot more of that as well, like, trying to understand these are real.
Sounds like she's getting real connected to her in that chapter. Jesus
does
Christ.
she cheat on Kirito?
From what I saw, no. You're safe.
I'm boycotting the show.
Gropey. The elf girl does get a little gropey. And I mean, not cheating because they're not dating yet. Checkmate.
It's not cheating because she ain't real.
It's not cheating because anime and harems exist.
Oh my god.
But no, I'm just excited to see an actual, like, fully realized Ironclad story.
Yeah.
It could go shit, but if it goes well, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
On other news, the Dragon's Dogma anime came out. I watched an episode just before the podcast. It looks so bad. It's so bad.
I don't really know this.
Worse than Devilman Crybaby though. Come
on. Leon, three letters. CGI.
Oh no.
That hurts a lot of anime. The use of CGI.
All CGI.
It's all CGI.
Does it look like the new Berserk?
It's slightly better. Like, at least characters move, unlike Berserk, where it was like that. That was the character moving. It was just they've grabbed this animation and made it right. No, it's not that, but like it's really weird as well because the only language option is English, right? Which is fucking confusing. But the mouth movements aren't. They just. So like
it's a dub series.
It's like, honey, I love you, but no, but they're not even mouthing anything. They're just going.
Here's the thing that I feel like that's a lot of things. He's saying how the sound doesn't match up to the movement of.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like people tend to try and at least make it work in English translations as much as possible. This just doesn't. Their mouth isn't actually looking like they're even trying to say a word. Their mouth is just going.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not even like going like, "Hi, how are you?"
Could you do that again, Andrew? I didn't understand. Thank you. Cool.
Dude, I think that's in a lot of things though. Honestly, even Japanese, that sometimes happens. What I think is, you know how when you focus and you concentrate on breathing, now you have to concentrate on breathing, and when you notice it, you can't stop noticing.
Sure, but the other problem though is
I can't stop thinking about breathing.
Leon, with the CGI, it makes it a lot harder to cover it up. Like,
probably.
It makes it a lot harder to cover it up. And like it was just bad because they're trying to do dark fantasy, but it is just edgelord. It's just edge. Pure fucking edge, and it's so cringe. There's a like goblin rape scene. There's a goblin rape scene.
Why?
Already been done, my friend.
Yeah. But you can tell like they're trying to take stuff from Goblin Slayer as well, like that darkness. Even though, like, there are parts of Goblin Slayer I'm like, even so, like, you're trying a little too hard to be
very
dark.
Uncomfortable.
No, it's not even uncomfortable. It's just like you're trying too hard to be edgy.
Oh, I mean, it's still an uncomfortable scene and moment. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It's the first episode, but anyway.
It is primarily. Oh well, in the manga, it's a lot more. The manga, it's a lot worse.
It's only for a little bit, to be honest. Like I'm reading the light novels now. They kind of tone off on that. Like they don't really care later on.
But like this show's like really trying to focus on that, and like people die.
What's your favorite color?
green.
Wow,
But,
that's really cool, dude.
You know,
Why is it green?
It's yours.
fucking worst.
Mine? Mine's purple.
Bro,
love
I'm just hungry. I'll be honest with you. I'm just.
Me and Tolga are Tweedledee and Tweedledum of this podcast right now.
You know. But no,
I'm just zoned out sporadically.
I'm also starving.
You
God.
fools! I ate
Anyway,
it before.
I think we can call it a night. It's been an hour and 30, so
It sure has. Have we got any other news? Personal news?
that's really fucking it, isn't it? I think, unless you guys have anything that you've seen.
No, not really. Not really.
Please don't punish me after this podcast, Captain.
Oh, Captain,
Don't
right, Captain.
Don't punish me for being
Don't
disobedient.
give me the piss bucket, Captain.
Keep the paddle away, Papa.
But yeah, I guess anyone watching, just let us know what you think in the chat. Any opinions that we had, what your thoughts are on it, any topics we missed.
Watch the Dragon's Dogma anime and hate me for it.
Yeah, there
Do
you
it.
go. Like and subscribe, and yeah, that's basically
Smash
our
that
thing.
like button.
Hit that.
Do a backflip.
Ding a ding
Do a
ding.
backflip
Another
and then
podcast.
drop kick that subscribe button.
I thought you were going to say drop kick that baby for some reason. It's about to get worried.
Yeah, that's not something we want to
Make
be.
sure you drop kick that baby.
That's something Ubisoft haven't done yet, so let's not
Yeah,
be
let's
worse than
not.
Ubisoft.
Andrew,
I mean,
you
wait, don't fucking count it out, Mitchell.
I'm just saying, not yet.
all right, Andrew, you want to do the outro?
Rapido.
Yes, let's go. You've been
Nerdspice.
Mitchell, that was
And Leon didn't get involved. This is where we kill him.
It's alright.
I
It's,
said
it's
it.
his second day on the
I
job.
said it.
You did say it. It's just his
Say it.
camera's delayed.
It's his second day on the job. We'll give him a break. Alright, see you everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.